Welcome back to the AirDon Show. I'm your host, AirDon, and as always, I'm joined by my incredible co-host, Kacy. Kacy, how are we doing today?
AirDon, I am so excited for today's episode. I really feel like we're about to drop some serious knowledge today. I can already tell this is going to be a game changer for our listeners.
You know what, Kacy? You're absolutely right. Today we're going to talk about one of the most amazing success stories in American history. And the reason I wanted to share this story is because it proves something incredible. It's never too late to make your dreams come true.
Ooh, I love this already. Who are we talking about today, AirDon?
We're talking about Ray Kroc. Now, most people know Ray Kroc as the founder of McDonald's, but here's what most people don't know. Ray Kroc was broke at 52 years old. 52 years old, Kacy. He was a traveling salesman, and he had failed at everything he ever tried.
Wait. You're telling me that the man who built one of the largest restaurant chains in the world was actually a failure at 52? That's incredible. What was he selling?
He was selling a milkshake multi-mixer to restaurants, and he was failing at that too, Kacy. He was living in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Matter of fact, that's just about 10 minutes from where I live now. But on his travels, he bumped into something that would change his life forever.
What did he find?
He found a restaurant in San Bernardino, California called McDonald's. It was owned by two brothers, and they had figured out this incredible system. You walked up to the counter, no chairs. It wasn't even like a restaurant. It was just a stand. You ordered your hamburger, french fries, and a Coke. The guy took your money, turned around, and handed you your food in less than 10 seconds.
10 seconds? That's amazing. I mean, up until that time, it took forever to get food, right? And it came on plates?
Exactly. This was revolutionary, and Ray Kroc thought this was the most incredible thing he'd ever seen. He convinced the McDonald's brothers to give him the franchise rights. And here's the thing. Ray Kroc didn't invent anything. He didn't create the system. The McDonald's brothers had already created what they called the Speedy system. But Ray Kroc took that opportunity and built McDonald's into the largest restaurant chain in the world.
So wait, let me get this straight. At 52 years old, this guy was a failure, selling milkshake machines. Then he discovers this system, and boom, he becomes one of the wealthiest people in America. What's the secret?
Success does leave clues, Kacy. There is a secret. And if you know the secret and apply it in your life, you can make more money too. It's the common denominator of successful people. But let me back up. Ray Kroc used to do something really interesting when he was traveling as a salesman.
What was that?
He traveled with a record player, and he traveled with some records. And every morning when he woke up in his motel room, he would listen to these records. And then at night, before he went to bed, he would listen to them again. He did this for decades.
Wait, he did this for decades? And he was still a loser and broke? That sounds confusing.
Here's the thing. What you program into your mind eventually manifests in your reality. But it takes time. Ray Kroc was programming himself for success. And the key trait that he focused on was persistence. Let me share some quotes with you.
I would love to hear those quotes.
John D. Rockefeller, the richest man who ever lived, said persistence is the most important trait that can help you become successful. Persistence and consistency. Persistent. Never giving up. Never stopping. Relentless. Nothing is an obstacle. Nothing is a roadblock.
That's powerful. Napoleon Hill had something to say about this too, didn't he?
Absolutely. Napoleon Hill said persistence is to character as carbon is to steel. Now, if you don't know about steel, without carbon, you don't have steel. It's the most essential element. In order to have character, you have to have persistence. It's the most important element.
I love that analogy. Carbon to steel, you have to have persistence to have true character.
The majority of men meet with failure because of their lack of persistence in creating new plans to take the place of those which fail. This is exactly what Ray Kroc did. He failed and failed and failed, but he was persistent. Not with succeeding in one particular venture. He was persistent with his goal and desire to achieve massive wealth.
So it's not about giving up on one specific thing, but never giving up on the overall goal?
Exactly. When you have that persistence, the law of attraction kicks in. It's like making a decision. I'm going to do it. That's it. Period. When you have that persistence, the universe stands up and says this person is serious. and then they will conspire to help you manifest your goals, dreams, and desires.
That's exactly what we talk about on this show, the power of mindset and determination. So what happened next with Ray Kroc?
Here's a Japanese proverb: fall 7 times, stand up 8. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. All that matters is how you're going to get up again. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed 10,000 times trying to create the incandescent light bulb.
10,000 times. That's insane. How did he keep going?
Every time he made an attempt, the filament would burn out. It failed, and then he would try again. He did this for years, 10,000 attempts before he figured out the right combination. And they asked him, "How does it feel to fail 10,000 times?" And he said, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I successfully found 10,000 ways it didn't work. Every time I failed, I knew I was closer to success."
Wow, that's the mindset of a champion. So what did Ray Kroc do specifically to program himself for success?
Ray Kroc was listening to positive, motivational, inspirational audio recordings. Now, I did the same thing. I learned this technique back in the mid-1970s. I had a cassette player, and I got positive motivational cassettes by Earl Nightingale, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, and others.
What did you do with them?
Before I went to bed, I would put the play button on the cassette right by my head, and I would go to sleep while that tape was playing. It was saying things like, "You can do it. You're a winner. Winners never quit, and quitters never win." I was programming myself for success.
That's amazing. So what happened when you were sleeping?
Here's the science behind it. When you go to sleep at night, your brain waves start going down. They go into alpha state, theta, and then delta. As the brain waves slow down, your left and right brain hemisphere begin to sync up. And as you get into that alpha state, there's a perfect connection between both sides of the brain.
So it's like bypassing the analytical mind and going directly into the subconscious?
Exactly. It goes right into your subconscious mind. Sometimes it takes more than a few days. Sometimes it takes decades, like Ray Kroc did. But boy, did he get results. He became one of the wealthiest guys in America.
That's such a great point. We already do this with entertainment. Why not do it with success programming?
This is a critical element to success. It's called spaced repetition. It's how you program yourself for success. And there's a lot of elements to success, but the highest one really is persistence. It's never giving up.
Now I'm going to give you another one of Ray Kroc's secrets. Behind every successful person is a supportive partner. Now, this was in a time when men held most executive positions and women were housewives. But let me rephrase it in today's modern world. Behind every successful person is a supportive partner.
Ray Kroc had a wife who was not supportive. She talked down to him. She wasn't his cheerleader. She wasn't proud of him. She was a dream stealer. But when he started building McDonald's franchises, he noticed something. The successful franchise owners were young couples who worked together as a team.
They were partners in every sense of the word.
Exactly. The woman would be a cheerleader for the husband, and the husband would be a cheerleader for the wife. They worked together. They were proud of each other. They built each other up. Ray realized he didn't have that in his life. So he got a divorce and married a woman who was his partner. She worked in the stores. She ate, drank, and slept McDonald's. She gave ideas about how to make it better.
That's the synergistic effect you talk about. 2 horses pulling a wagon don't pull twice as much weight. They pull 3 times as much.
Absolutely. When 2 people work together as a team, especially a romantic couple, it is an unstoppable force. So I want you to think about this. Men, do you build up and edify your wife? Are you proud of her? And wives, are you supportive of your husband? If one of you has a dream, is the other person a dream stealer, or are you helping build up that dream? Now, here's something that should inspire you. No matter where you are in life, Ray Kroc was broke at 52 years old, staying in cheap motels, getting tons of rejection, tons of people slamming doors in his face. And at 52, by listening to recordings every morning and every night, because he was persistent and consistent with his efforts, he manifested his dream.
That's incredible! 52 years old and he started building an empire.
But it wasn't an automatic success. The first franchise he had was in Des Plaines, Illinois, right down the street from here. It was a relative success, but he wasn't making much money. He couldn't even pay his overheads. He was behind on his mortgage. he faced adversity again.
What happened?
He went into the bank to renegotiate his mortgage because they were going to foreclose on his house. As he was walking out frustrated, a customer overheard the conversation. This customer knew about the McDonald's store and sat down with Ray. And he said, "You can't make money at 1%. You're not in the hamburger business. You're in the real estate business."
Wow, so he went from the hamburger business to the real estate business?
Exactly. He started buying the land and telling franchisees they had to put their franchise on his land and pay him lease for the land. He became one of the largest real estate owners in America. If he didn't have that adversity, he would have never been in the real estate business. He would never have had the success he has today.
So in every adversity, there's seeds of a greater benefit.
Ray Kroc is not the only story. Colonel Sanders, Harlan Sanders, started Kentucky Fried Chicken in his 60s when he was flat broke, sleeping in his car, trying to sell his chicken recipe. It doesn't matter where you're at or where you've been. The only thing that matters is where you're going.
What about people who have dreams but are afraid to go for them?
You gotta have a dream. You gotta believe in something. You gotta have hope. You have to be shooting for a goal. You have to have something that gives you enthusiasm and motivation and inspiration to go for it. Something that gives you a reason to get up in the morning and stay up late at night.
What's your dream, AirDon?
My dream is to help as many people as possible achieve their dreams. And that's what this show is all about. Ray Kroc had a dream. Colonel Sanders had a dream. Stephen Musk had a dream. Donald Trump had a dream. You gotta have a dream. Shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you still wind up amongst the stars. So here's the bottom line. Persistence and consistency. Do the right things long enough consistently. Be persistent. Be determined. Make a commitment. Remember, success is just a decision away.
This has been so inspiring, AirDon. I feel like I could conquer the world right now.
That's exactly the attitude you need. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about your own dreams. I want you to think about what you've been putting off. And I want you to make a decision right now that you're going to be persistent, that you're going to be consistent, that you're never going to give up.
And if you need help along the way, make sure you reach out to the AirDon team. They can help you with your journey to success.
That's right. You can email us at theairdon@gmail.com or call us at 562-888 to 2482. We're here to help you achieve your dreams. Until next time, stay focused, stay hungry, and remember, success is just a decision away.
Thanks for joining us on the AirDon Show. We'll see you next time.
Have a great day, everyone.